I just got back to the shack. I haven't seen yet whether it has turned into a clusterfuck or not. Is it? It's all in one piece. Good evening, gentlemen. And apparently ungentlemen as well, although I remain dubious. Welcome back to the old computer shack. It appears to be in one piece. I'm kind of surprised. Let's skin this mofo and see what we can find. Peeling back the tape after engaging in this procedure is very, very much like not safe for work warning. Getting into a project like this and peeling the tape off finally is very much like getting into bed with a tie hooker, because you never really quite know exactly what you're going to get until you finally peel back that last layer. Alright, it is not pretty, but it is all in one piece. When you peel this tape off, sometimes it brings up some of the JB weld, and that's unavoidable. We're not going to get a whole lot more done with this evening, because I'm going to mix up a little bit more JB weld, and I'm going to go back over all of this. Anywhere there's a little space where it's not filled in quite right, we're going to fill, and then we'll let it set again. Because it's all in one piece now, we can deal with the imperfections caused by our previous work. You know what I'm saying? It's like when someone goes into anaphylactic shock and you give them a great big shot of adrenaline, because I mean, even though that fucks them up just as much as the anaphylactic shock, at least you've gotten them into a state that you can work with. You know what I'm saying? So this actually turned out better than I expected. It sits flush on the desk. It doesn't rock, so that's good. I was afraid stuff would be a little cattywampus. Now, there are a couple of places, especially right here, we've probably got, a little bit less than a ½ millimeter deviation between some of these pieces where the crack has, where stuff isn't, like packed together as tightly as it could be. But hopefully we can work with that. We can always very gently sand and needle file things to make stuff fit if it's not quite right. The most important thing is going to be whether the top pretty much fits, and it does pretty much fit. You can see here it's not perfect. It sags a little bit right here, but that'll draw up once we get those screws in there. The pieces don't quite line up back here, but I think we can probably fix that by building it up a little bit with Bondo and then taking it back down even. It'll make a little bit of a bulge here on this corner on the bottom, but it's the bottom, you know what I'm saying? Now, a better question perhaps to be asking ourselves is, will this kind of fix work on the larger part of the enclosure? And I am not sure that it will, because all of those vents, there's no way that we can tape them, you know what I'm saying? So we may have to resort to that acetone welding for that, because it sets a little bit faster, but I don't think the end result will be quite as good as using an epoxy and sanding, you know what I'm saying? So let me get this recoated. After I scratch the rest of these little bits of tape off of here, I may have to sand part of that, and then we'll let it set again. And I apologize for this video not amounting to much, but we want to do this right, and it takes time for the stuff to set right, you know what I'm saying? Just got a few places here where the tape's a little bit caked in with the JB weld. I'm just using a really, I think this might be 60 grit, just a really rough sandpaper to take that off of there right quick, because we don't want that tape to be underneath of the next little bit of JB weld that we put on there. You know what I'm saying? Because that'll fuck up the detail sanding. So just very quickly making it just a little bit happier. Draw happy little trees. Yeah, I know we're not using a sanding block, but that's okay right now. We're gonna be doing this. We're not intending to make it pretty just now. We're just intending to make it work. Now there's a place right here where there's a whole piece that was missing, and I tried to I taped it on the backside and then just filled this in with JB weld, but it didn't quite fill. I think the JB weld kind of contracts a little bit as it cures, so we're going to have to put a little bit more in that hole there too. But other than that, I mean, especially around these concave 90-degree edges, it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass to trim that. We'll have to do all that with needle files, and it'll take forever. But I think there's a stray bit of JB weld near the sticker. I guess, I don't know what to do. Doesn't look like it. We can probably, yeah, we can get that cleaned up. It'll be alright. Here's a little hole that got filled by JB weld. Oh, that stuff is tough. Stronger than the plastic, honestly. I'll probably have to go get a drill bit and chase that out. Anyway, yeah, a little bit of cleanup on this side to do, but not much. So yeah, this you see what the drill is here. It's all not complicated. And of course, we're finally back to our old tricks after we've gotten everything cleaned up and all of the dust from the sanding wiped off. Hope I didn't get any hardener into that. Alright. And as we go through this pass, it's very important that we actually get it down into those cracks. It can be a little proud. That's okay. We'll be sanding anyway, but we don't want it to be super proud, because that's just more sanding. And we want to try to get it reasonably smooth as well, because again, less sanding. Force it down into that crack, and we'll just work this little bit of stuff all the way down through here, and we'll try not to get it on the sticker. Well, it's kind of a clusterfuck, but you know, it could be worse. It's especially kind of shitty around here, around this port, this hole for this port. I mean, this right here in this corner, it was just smashed to shit. I mean, tiny pieces, and stuff isn't quite lining up, but I think we can make it work. I mean, with enough Bondo, anything will work, right? That's right. Don't get too discouraged yet. We're still in the initial phases, and doing it right is going to take some time. So I'm going to finish this and let it harden for another 24 hours, and then, my friends, I will see you probably tomorrow. Yeah, I think I'll have time to make a video tomorrow. I'll see you sometime. Alright, cool. Thanks for joining me, folks. Have a lovely weekend.